All right, everybody, welcome back. It is September 20th, and I want to show you guys something really interesting. Recent flash sale, aka flash crash, aka pullback in the crypto markets, but also in the stock markets. And depending on how you look at it, it may have even started in the stock market. So stick around, and right after the intro, we're going to jump in. All right, guys, so here we are. Starting out with BTC, I almost didn't, but we're going to start with BTC. I'm going to try to make this video as direct and straightforward as possible. Going to be throwing a lot of interesting things at you, but you could learn a lot. So I'll keep it really simple, make it easy for you to follow, and let's just get into it. So we're looking at Bitcoin, and I really do apologize. I had another video made up, but I was just too lazy to put it together and get it posted. But I still have, you could see these arrows on the screen. I still have these arrows that I put up from the last video that I made but didn't post. And basically what I was saying in that video was that, despite this creep of Bitcoin from the recent drop, I was expecting another pullback before price, continued on higher to really start our wave 3 up. And one of the things that I've been saying is that in a wave 1, which is what this move here was, and then this downward push being wave 2 correction. If I was just to box it in like that, so wave 1 in red, wave 2 correction in blue. It is not crazy for these kinds of moves to actually make their way down as far as the 786 Fibonacci retracement on the correction. So the wave 2 of the 5 wave in the Elliott wave theory is always known to have the steepest corrections out of all 5 waves. So as we know, the market doesn't go straight up in one line. It doesn't come straight down. Everything is in waves. We can see those waves here. Push up 1, push down 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we started our correction. Bull trap with this B wave. I had miscounted these, but this was A, B wave up, and then C wave correction. C wave correction is usually in 5 waves. So 1, 2, 3. We may get another 2 waves out of this. Don't know how that's going to work, but that's usually the layout. But like I was saying, it is not uncommon for these waves 2 corrections when looking at an overall wave 1 move up to come down as far as the 786. It doesn't have to, but it can, and it even can come a little bit further. Once it does not break the start of the move up, it can still be considered a proper Elliott wave theory. So me personally, sometimes I just like to see by going from the low to the high of the actual wave 5, which gives us at 78.6 right there, or going to the height of the B wave. But as you could see, it barely changes, where that mark would be. So the golden zone, the 50 to the 618 percentile, is still right around this area, which is actually where price is sitting right now. Okay, so just based on market structure, just based on the way how things play out, these theories are in place for a reason. They're studied for a reason, because this is just a tendency of how the market goes. I was expecting from the very beginning, if you look back in the videos, if you remember back, a pull down to these lower levels. And I was, like I said, I was counting wrong up here, so I was really confused by this push up, and then we had our first drop, and then it started to creep up, and I was predicting a push back down either to these previous lows before we bounced higher, or maybe even going lower. Now I know with this recent push down, a lot of people are panicking, um, and that's the point of it, because now we're going to get into the video. Um, a lot of times these corrections can be influenced, and I made a video about this first, uh, let's just call it crash, this first crash, how it all happened at the exact same time across all the crypto markets. And just last night, at roughly about between 10 and 11 o'clock, I'd say, at 11 o'clock is when you really noticed it. The market started to crash again, and it came all the way down. Some of the cryptos retested their previous low from this initial crash right here, and some went lower. As we could see, Bitcoin, came much lower, but it is still in a safe zone in terms of proper correction. So the vast majority of the time when markets correct after a nice move up, they come down to the golden zone between the 50 to the 618 percentile. So this is still in an amazing spot, and even if it does go lower, this 30, 33,000, 34,000 range is still an okay spot too. Now, what's so interesting about it is, once again, this happened straight across the board. So it happened with Bitcoin. I think I was watching Dogecoin at the time when it actually did happen. So here we go. It happened with Dogecoin, and straight across the crypto market for the most part on all the major ones, just like with the initial crash. But now here's the crazy part. So Monday morning, stock market's about to open, and if you take a look at, okay, first I'll show you this. I'll show you the NASDAQ. So yesterday when the crypto markets crashed, at 11 o'clock, and let me just show you that real quick so you don't think I'm making stuff up. Go back to Bitcoin. So this candle, this nice drop right here, when you realize something was going on, this candle, this is a 1 hour time frame. So this is, if you look at the bottom, you'll see it says 19th of September 22. So this 24-hour time frame, that's 11 o'clock. So this is the 11 o'clock candle, drop down, and that's when you knew, when I saw this candle, I knew something was going down. And progressively it just came lower and lower, and today it continued lower and lower. And then with the stock market, so I had been watching Apple and a few other stocks looking for a sell, but I was like, Monday when the market opens, I'm gonna see if the trend line breaks to confirm, to get in for a sell. And open up the laptop this morning at 8:30, and I realized it gapped down. So it already passed my entry, or what I would have liked to been my entry, and it even like went down to, that was my move, that was my plan, and it already happened before markets even opened. So I started checking some of the other stocks. Bank of America, same thing, gap down. Caterpillar gap down. So I said, okay, something's going on. And when you look at the NASDAQ doesn't show. The NASDAQ has a space, so you'll see the 17th of September, and then the weekend, the next date you're gonna see is the 20th. So there's no 19th on the NASDAQ chart. You'll find it on Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is crypto. It trades 24 hours, but stock markets are open from Monday to Friday, but there is pre-market activity. Now the S&P 500 shows all pre-market activity, and I can show you those candles right here. I can notice them, I can pick them out right here. So this is that 10 o'clock candle right here, and then the break of this little almost double bottom, and then you have your 11 o'clock candle which started this push down. All right, now take a look at the S&P, and this is why I've been telling you guys that there's big money buying in to the cryptos, and why the price is being influenced to push down to get retail investors and other people to sell their cryptos, so the big boys on Wall Street can get their bags full before price starts pushing back up. So go into the weekly on the S&P 500. I just want you to see, this market has been crazy, just going up, 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 up with no real correction, just going up, 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 up. As we could see, it was kind of the same thing here. You had some little corrections, and this was even more vertical, just creeping up, creeping up, creeping up. But this was just crazy, and this is all during COVID. So you have the stock market hitting all-time high after all-time high after all-time high during COVID, only touching the 21 moving average. In truth, once, twice, so 3 times, and just now for the 4th time. So no real corrections in the stock market. Just money being pumped in. Everybody dumping their stimulus checks, and the price just going higher and higher and higher. The Federal Reserve keeping the thing going. In this crash, just to show you the correlation. So I showed you the correlation where, well, I didn't properly, but before I get too far ahead, show you the correlation. So you got these 2 candles. Right, which was the start of this like real crash, or the continuation of this crash. As you could see, this sell-off actually started from the 17th. Here we go. It skips, was 18th. Okay, so it just goes from the 17th to the 18th. So from the 17th last week Friday to pre-market, Sunday night, this has just been selling off throughout today, selling off, and then recently a bounce up in the aftermarket today on the 20th. So you see this correlation between the stocks and between cryptos. All right, so big money has been selling off on both sides. Like I said, with crypto, I believe to be able to get their bags full and to kind of scare everybody into selling their crypto so that they can buy it up at cheaper prices. But with the stocks, I think one of the reasons why we're starting to see kind of a sell scare is just because prices just been going. Like eventually, you got to get off. Eventually, you got to take some profits. So it's just been creeping up, creeping up. We see volume has been going down. Look at the MACD. Since this big drop right here on the MACD, hold on. Since this big drop that you can see here in red on the MACD, it's just pretty much been green. Really knows what, one little red candle there, a few little red ones there, and now like from this point, from here, you just had progressive red. So you go from just green, trying so hard to stay green, staying up in these near oversold areas on the RSI. Look at the RSI on Bitcoin. Down, up, constantly down, up, down, up, down, up. You go to the S&P 500. Sorry, where'd you go? Go to the S&P 500. It's just up. It's just staying up there, staying above the 50. So this is the 50, right there, and look, it's just stayed above it the whole time. And then on the MACD, it tried so hard to stay green this entire time, and then it hits this red patch. Been hitting red, tried to go green a few times, but just been staying red. And then finally you start to see, that red flash start to come in with these greater candles. And so people started jumping off. It has to correct itself at some point. And to be honest with you, I do think that there's going to be a big transfer of money from the stock market. I don't care what they say on the news. I don't care how much people pretend they don't believe in crypto. There is a transfer of money coming from the stock market over into the crypto markets. And that is a time for us as retail investors to take advantage. We don't make the markets. These guys make the markets clearly based on this big money. This is billion-dollar money, millions and trillions of dollars that make these candles move. And we are here to ride the waves. We are here to see what the flow of the market is and to get on board and to catch a ride and make that money. But information like this helps us not to be manipulated, so we're not the ones jumping off too early, you know? So what if you put in a few thousand, a few hundred, up here and it crashed? So what? If Bitcoin now rallies to 100,000, it doesn't matter if you had to take a 23% drawdown. It doesn't really matter. If anything, you buy more, you buy the dip. If your mindset is long term, depending on what your goal is. So just to run back to the S&P, I want to show you another correlation. So go back to the weekly. So when the S&P, when COVID first hit and everything tanked, this area right here, S&P, 16th of March 2020, 23rd of March 2020. We go to Bitcoin just to show you right here. So this has kind of been our floor right here. Previous low over there. It's kind of been our floor, and right here, 2nd of March, 16th of March, 23rd of March. So the same time Bitcoin crashed, stock market was crashing, stock market rallied higher, Bitcoin rallied higher. Stock market started to pull back, Bitcoin started to pull back. Just to take a look, percentage wise, I have it written down, the S&P fell on those candles that I showed you. The S&P fell $110 or 110 points, which equates to 2.5%, and Bitcoin fell in this last drop $7,093 from roughly about right here, right, start of the fall, to down here, and about 15%. This was also roughly about a 15% move, depending on where you start, to the low right there. So about 15% there as well. So we see Bitcoin dropping 15%, each time from level to level. But I think we're definitely nearing the end. And like I said, the wave C correction, because this would be A, B, and this would be the start of wave C. Wave C generally moves in 5 waves. So from the top of wave B down, it's 1, 2, 3, might see something like this, maybe with like a double bottom, 5, right? So that's kind of what we can expect right now with the cryptocurrencies. This 5th wave could even extend a bit lower, like I say, down here to the 786, and that would not be abnormal at all. That would give you your last chance to buy back in around the low 30,000 range before going back up for wave 3, during which we could see plus 100,000 in BTC, as well as start to see that real momentum in a lot of these other coins. So really good buy opportunity if you believe in the crypto, if you think it's a good investment, if you're willing to stick it out. Awesome opportunity. Taking a look at Dogecoin right here to get back in or to add to your positions. So we see Dogecoin down here at the 786. So really key level right here for Dogecoin. And a lot of the other coins, like Ethereum Classic, you're going to see these similar levels. We're back down to that 20 cent range, from the low of about 16 cents. So really good discount, to get in if you are bearish on cryptos. Bullish on cryptos. Really good place to get in. Let's just take a look at a few others. Cardano, so nice drop in Cardano. So I had this wedge, this ascending wedge kind of set up, just saying, that if it were to go to the upside from here, we would be looking for a break of this trend line on the wedge, but it could break to the downside, and we would see a retest or slightly lower lows than this point right here. So again, when you see sharp corrections in the market, don't always look for the springboard effect like with Shiba. When Shiba took that first crash, don't look for this. Took that crash with the rest of the cryptos and the other ones consolidated. Shiba just sprung back up. Don't look for that. That's not normal. Most of the time, you get consolidation or retest of the lows. You see Shiba, it jumped up with the Coinbase release, and then it creeped back down. So a lot of people get excited, FOMO, fear of missing out. They see the spike and they want to jump up and ride that train. But if you just be patient, you wait for sure signs, you can still get in, at a great point, to where you're not buying at a place where price could continue to drop, or you're not buying at the top when you could wait for a correction, and get in down here. And even with this bounce with the Coinbase, where did it go? Right back to the highs, from the previous consolidation range before coming back down to a great buy-in spot. So it's just patience. So I don't know how far the stock market is going to drop. I do not know if it'll bounce back and how high, if they'll try to keep it up in these ranges. But from what we can see, especially from the MACD on the weekly, from the RSI, it is really due for a correction. And how much, if it continues to drop, it will affect crypto anymore, it'll be interesting to see. But I do think that even if the stock market continues to drop, a lot of that money is coming over here to crypto. The big hedgies, the big Wall Street boys, they're selling out, and they're bringing a lot of that money over here. And you say why? Why? Because the crypto market can handle it. And if you look at the S&P, since, what's this? What date is this? The 19th of August. All right, so from the 19th of August, the S&P moved 4.5%. From the 19th of August, 10th. Okay, so even at the top of the ride, from the 19th of August, Bitcoin has moved 19%. That's why. All right. So even if the stock market continues to drop, and like I said, there still can be more downside in the crypto as well, because we gotta play out this. We don't have to, but we may play out this 5 wave correction on the C wave. You know, we can either see a retest after a bounce from this low, a retest to this area with a double bottom, or it could push down to the 786 before starting wave 3 to go higher. I don't know. But I think a lot of that money is going to come over, and I think this is kind of our range, our low range for Bitcoin. And then if you take this same model and apply it to the other cryptos, that's kind of what we're going to be seeing. So that's it. Like I said, it's maybe confusing. Maybe it was a lot. Try to keep it as simple as possible. But the main things to take away from it is not that the crypto market mirrors the stock market or vice versa. It's just that the people with the money, we're just following the money trail. And we can see that when money is invested in the stock market, we can see similar influences in the crypto markets. And when money is pulled out of the stock market, we can see similar occurrences in the crypto market. So what it's just telling us is that the people that move the markets with the billions and trillions of dollars, they have maybe not as much of an interest, but they definitely do have an interest not only in the stock market, but also in the cryptocurrency market. And like I said, I do believe they are now getting more of an interest in the crypto market because based on technical analysis, there is still a lot to go in the crypto. They want to take advantage of retail investors, and the stock market is due for a correction. So I think a lot of that money is going to come over here to be invested into the crypto market. And this downward move is just a trap, for retail investors to sell their coins cheap, so these guys can buy in at a discount with their billions and millions of dollars before price starts to climb higher. All right, so have a good day. Peace.